¿Qué pasa, YouTube? How's it going, everybody? Yes! Hello! How's it going, everybody? I already said that. But yeah, guys, I am back from Florida. For some reason, you don't know, all last week I was in Florida, which is why I didn't upload daily. And I want this to go up on Sunday instead of Monday like I had planned, because, I mean, Sunday I have nothing to do. So Sunday I'll upload a video, then hopefully starting that Monday on from now on I can go back to daily uploads, and obviously it'll be Wi-Fi one day, then Showdown the next, and just yeah, guys. But I am back. If you missed my uploads from last week, a link to those will be at the end of this video, so you guys can go check that out. And of course, if you guys do enjoy this video, then make sure to hit the like button, guys. The support is greatly appreciated. So much like always, just try to get 300 likes. Also, I'm not using a Victini on my team. Shocking, I know, right? That's actually because I really wanted to try out Fletchinder during UU, so I was like, well, I'm gonna try out Fletchinder, and just, yeah, I kind of really grabbed back this team, because originally this was supposed to be live narrated for Lumio Station, but the audio messed up on that, and it did turn out to be an extremely close battle, and I definitely think you guys will enjoy it. Unfortunately, I have to hunt down my opponent, so if you see this man, could you please leave a comment down below, just in case I don't have your Twitter and stuff in the description. I would greatly appreciate that if you did leave a comment, so I can give you recognition, because you are my opponent and you are in this video. So going into this battle, the biggest threat I saw on his team was probably going to be that Victini, just because if you look at my team with the proper prediction, Victini can utterly annihilate me, so I really have to make sure to watch out for that. So he's going to be leading off with the Galvantula, just as I thought he would. I'm going to be leading off with my Hydreigon. Now I am Scarfed, so I'm going to stay in, go straight for the Dark Pulse, thinking, oh, he's going to go for the Sticky Web. That is not the case though, as I'm able to just barely live the Bug Buzz. I'm going to be able to easily 2-kill this Galvantula, which is really great, because I will still have use for Hydreigon later in the battle. As he brings in the Victini, the way he brought it in had me thinking that he is definitely Scarfed, so obviously I don't want to stay in. I know the U-turn is coming, but I'm thinking that I should still have use for Hydreigon later in the battle, just to get off maybe prior damage on a switch in for Metagross, or damage off on the Swampert. Because if I'm able to weaken Swampert and Metagross, my Fletchinder should definitely be able to win me this game. So we're both going to go for a Stealth Rocks this turn. I'm honestly not worried about his rocks, because I have Rapid Spin on Fortress, and I also have Defog on Mew, because I was like, well, I really want to put in some work with Fletchinder, so I'm just going to keep both. Although if it was on Showdown, I probably would have put Knockoff on me over Defog, but it's whatever really. So he's going to go for the Toxic as I bring in my Fortress. I actually thought that he would go straight for the Scald, and my plan was to switch in Fortress, hopefully go for a Toxic so I could wear down the Swampert, but he actually ends up switching out into his Victini. I was also very close to going for the Volt Switch, but I thought about it and I was like, well, honestly, Toxic is going to be better for me in the long run, because as I said, I have to get rid of Swampert and I have to get rid of Metagross if I want my Fletchinder to put in some work. So he switches into his Victini, and then I'm going to predict him to go for the U-turn or the Bolt Strike as opposed to going for the V-Crate, because the switch on the Swampert is very obvious. So honestly, I really had no reason to switch out because it was so obvious, so I stayed in, predicted correctly, and then I'm going to go for the Rapid Spin, because I have a Fletchinder. I have to get rid of these rocks before I can go for the Volt Switch and start getting momentum. So he switches into a Starmie, and I'm really banking on the fact that he's just going to want to go for the Rapid Spin as opposed to going for the Hydro Pump or Scald if he did carry it. And he does end up going for the Rapid Spin, as I'm going to be able to go for the Volt Switch. I believe I am a relaxed nature, and the only reason I'm relaxed on this Fortress is because originally I had Gyro Ball, and then if I go up against another Fortress, I can go after they Volt Switch, so I can get Switch Initiative, so that kind of helps me out too, as I'm able to get off a solid amount of damage. At the amount of HP the Starmie was at, I would have been able to knock him out with the Acrobatics, so he ends up making the nice save switch into a Swampert, and we're back to stage 1 where neither of us have rocks up. So I'm predicting him to want to go for the Scald, so I switch into my Mew, hoping that he would actually burn me. This way I can synchronize it over and start getting residual damage on the Swampert, but he ends up making a very nice play, goes straight for the Stealth Rocks, and I'm thinking, okay, well, he's most likely not going to stay in, so I can just safely go for the Defog. And I find it very funny that he had a Scrafty named Callum and I had a Hydreigon named Nappy. I don't know, I just thought that was pretty hilarious. So I Defog, and it turns out that his Scrafty has Intimidate. Now normally Dragon Dance Scrafty, from what I've seen, have Moxie. So I'm thinking, okay, because he has Intimidate, he's probably going to be Assault Vest, you know, to get the boost on the special defensive side and to get a better defense, obviously, after the Intimidate. No, he turns out to have the Dragon Dance and the Lumberry, and I'm kind of really scared right now. So I switched directly into my Fortress thinking, oh crap, I'm going to get to a KO, but that knockoff I actually only did about 40%, which was really surprising to me. Then again, I am max defense and max HP, but it's fine because I'm thinking, okay, I can live a Drain Punch and I can at least get off the Toxic, because unfortunately, even though yes, I do have Fletchinder at full HP, Scrafty, I believe, does just barely live in Acrobatics. So what I'm gonna try to do is just leave in Fortress and get the Toxic off and just start having it rack up, and after going for Lair Spikes, I can hopefully go for the Volt Switch, because after that damage from Toxic and the Volt Switch damage, I should definitely bring him down to a point where my Acrobatics will be able to knock it out, and then I can also have Fortress for later in the battle. Unfortunately though, he gets a crit. I don't really know how much the crit mattered, but if it did matter, as I said, it would have been really nice to get off that extra Volt Switch damage, because if I get absolute minimum damage with this acrobatics, Scrafty can live. Thankfully though, I don't. I'm able to knock him out, which is really great, as he brings in the Swampert. I don't want to risk him going for the Scald, because I could easily stay in Will-O-Wisp, but as I said, Fletchinder is probably going to be my win condition in this battle, so I end up making a very ballsy and aggressive play into my Nidoking, and I'm going to go straight for the Earth Power. Honestly, looking back at it, me switching right into Nidoking was really stupid, because what I should have done was brought in my Mew. This way, I could have Nidoking for his Metagross. And now, with me losing Nidoking, Metagross has kind of become a bit of an issue. But then again, I do have Swampert, but there's a chance that Metagross could have the weakness policy, because I know that that was kind of popular a couple of weeks or a month or two back when Metagross was used more in UU. So I'm going to bring in Fletchinder at the amount of HP Swampert is at. I can knock him out with the Acrobatics as he brings in the Metagross. I could easily go for the Will-O-Wisp, but I also don't want to risk him possibly having the Will-O-Wisp. So I'm just really terrified of this Metagross right now because of that tremendously bad misplay that I did with my Nidoking. So I'm going to decide just to fodder off my Hydreigon. This way I can get a free switch into my Swampert without it having to take any prior damage. So now what I can do is stay in and just start spamming Scald, as he turns out to have the Zen Headbutt. I was just really praying, hoping that he would not flinch me. Thankfully he doesn't get the first flinch, which is really nice. As I go for the Scald, don't get the burn, but it's fine, because what I want to try to do is get off enough damage to the point where after Scalds and going for an Earthquake, I can bring him down to the range where my Fletchinder can come in, finish him off with Acrobatics, and then hopefully win me the battle. So as I said, I'm just going to stay in, go for 2 Scalds as he goes for 1 final Zen Head, but thankfully I do not get flinched as I go for the Earthquake. It turns out that I'm actually able to knock him out, which I was not expecting whatsoever, because I thought he would be able to live, and then I would be forced to bring in Fletchinder to Acrobatics, but that's actually really good that I was able to knock him out. I just don't know if he was Lumberry or Assault Vest or Weakness Policy. As he brings in the Starmie, he can either choose to go for the Rapid Spin or go for the offensive move. Well, I guess Rapid Spin is an offensive move, but you get what I'm trying to say. As he ends up going for the Ice Beam, I can now get a free switch into my Fletchinder. I will indeed be able to knock it out with this Acrobatics, and this is why, ladies and gentlemen, having an odd number of HP on your Pokemon is very crucial, because my Fletchinder was able to live a second Stealth Rock switch in on 1 HP. Now, even though I will not be able to knock out this Victini, thanks to the Toxic that I got off on it with my Fortress earlier in the battle, I only need 2 turns in order for Toxic to knock him out. And as he knocks me out with the Bolt Strike, my last Pokemon is the Mew, which even if he did lock himself into U-turn, unless he got a crit with the U-turn, it really wouldn't have mattered. So Mew is going to be able to easily take this Bolt Strike, and I'm going to be a little bit of an asshole, and I'm actually going to go for the defog as opposed to finishing him off, because I want Fortress to finish off the Victini, because you never really see that Fortress knocking out a Victini. Then again, I did get off prior damage with Fletchinder, so it was a team effort. It was a team effort taking that Victini, and that is going to be the very narrow 1-0 victory in my favor. So yeah, I thought it was a really good battle. Definitely came down to the wire. I was actually very scared when I foolishly let my Nidoking get knocked out by the Swampert. But yeah, if you guys did miss my previous 3 uploads from last week, the 2 showdown battles are playing on the left side of your screen, and the Wi-Fi battle is playing on your right side. There should be annotations on them, so make sure to go check them out, guys. And with that being said, tomorrow should be the continuation and return of daily uploads. So yeah, with that being said, I will see you all tomorrow. And just, yeah, if you did enjoy the video, you know what to do, guys. And yeah, later, everybody.